The phrase Black girl magic celebrates the accomplishments, power, and brilliance of Black women. But there's another kind of magic, one that runs deeper, passed down through generations, the kind rooted in the earth, in whispered prayers, in hands that heal, and in the spirits that guide. Before the ships, before the chains, our ancestors in West and Central Africa practiced sacred traditions that honored the forces of nature. They called on orishas, used herbs to cure the sick, and read messages in the wind and water. When they were stolen from their lands and forced into bondage, they didn't forget. Their magic adapted. Voodoo in Louisiana, Voodoo in Haiti, Obeah in the Caribbean, and Hoodoo across the American South. They blended African rituals with the Bible, called Catholic saints by their African names, and turned roots of the earth into weapons of survival. This wasn't just folklore, this was power. Power that flowed through the hands of extraordinary Black women. Women who could heal with a touch, see the unseen, and bend fate with the right roots and whispered prayers. Let me tell you about 3 such women. Women whose magic still lingers in the air, in the earth, and in the stories we tell. Marie Laveau wasn't just a character played by Angela Bassett in American Horror Story. She was real, a living legend. Born in 1801, a free Creole woman in New Orleans, she was stunning, with sharp eyes and a presence that commanded attention. But her true power came from her hands and her knowledge of roots, oils, and spirits. She mixed Spanish moss for peace, red pepper to ward off enemies, and dragon's blood resin for protection. She healed the sick, blessed the desperate, and held secret ceremonies at Congo Square, where drumming called spirits into the bodies of the faithful, blurring the lines between the living and the divine. The most powerful men in New Orleans, judges, lawyers, even police sought her help. Some whispered she used snake root and devil's shoestring to sway court cases. Others believed she could see the future. Even in death, her presence lingers. Her supposed grave in St. Louis Cemetery number 1, though some debate if she's truly buried there, is covered in X's left by those still begging for her power. Some swear they've seen her spirit, not just near her tomb, but roaming the city as if she never left. Mother Catherine Seals. She wasn't just a healer, she was a sanctuary. She built the temple of the innocent blood, a home for the poor, the sick, and the abandoned. Her hands held the power of the divine. She healed infections with golden seal, broke fevers with peppermint, and used hyssop for spiritual cleansing. She gave spiritual baths, laid hands on the suffering, and drove out spirits that tormented the desperate. Legendary writer and anthropologist Zora Neale Hurston took notice, documenting Mother Catherine's work and her studies of Black spiritual traditions. Hurston described the temple as a place where faith and magic intertwined, where miracles were more than stories, they were real. White authorities tried to shut her down. They feared her influence, the way that people, Black and poor, the forgotten, flocked to her for protection. But she stood firm, her community shielding her like a fortress. To them, she was more than a conjure woman. She was a saint. Born into slavery, Aunt Caroline Dye was no ordinary woman. She was a seer. Legend describes her as a two-headed doctor, a fortune teller, a psychic, a conjure doctor, a woman who could see beyond time, beyond what the human eye could grasp. Despite being born enslaved, unable to read and write, she became a thriving businesswoman. She had a steady stream of clients and built enough wealth to invest in real estate, reportedly owning 8 farms in Arkansas. When she passed away on September 26, 1918 in Newport, large amounts of cash were found in her home, and her estate was valued at an astonishing $100,000, the equivalent of $2.5 million today. People traveled across the country to sit before her, with a deck of playing cards, a handful of high John root for power, alpha for prosperity, and lodestone to draw wealth. She told fortunes with eerie accuracy. Some said she could tell a person's fate just by looking at them. Others said she could sway luck, break curses, and call forth unseen forces. Those who sought her guidance didn't come empty-handed. They brought sugarcane syrup, cornbread, yams, pound cake, sweet tea, peaches, magnolias, and other Southern food in general. Some feared her, some worshipped her. Everyone believed in her. Her legend grew so powerful that even blues musicians sang about her. Songs like Hoodoo Lady by Memphis Minnie and Caroline Dye by Will Shade immortalized her name, spreading her fame beyond the South. She didn't just read fortunes, she shaped them. These women weren't myths. They weren't legends in dusty books. They walked the earth, wielding the magic of their ancestors, turning roots and whispers into power. Their magic hasn't faded, it lingers, because Black girl magic has always been real.